This episode is sponsored by Skillshare, and the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare's premium membership. Enjoy the episode. Hey everybody, welcome to Impact Theory. On today's very special episode, we have gathered some of your favorite IT guests ever to answer questions directly from you. These guys have so much wisdom to share. I'm really excited that they got a chance to answer your questions directly. So sit back, relax, and drink in some of the most amazing people on the face of the planet. Without further ado, let's dive right in.
Hiya, my name's JP. I'm a music producer and a father of two from Belfast. And my question is for Shetty. Jay, do you think that happiness is a system that can be figured out, or is it a moving target that we have to chase? Thanks a million.
That's a really interesting question. Now, the way that I look at it is that happiness is the byproduct and the result of practicing certain daily habits. So we see that psychologically, scientifically, and spiritually, the practice of a set of habits every single day can create states of happiness. Now, some of these are in the book called The Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. I highly recommend it. And some of the other ones that I learned living as a monk include 4 key habits: thankfulness, inspiration, meditation, and exercise. So that's how I view happiness. I see it as a result of practicing these daily rituals, these daily habits that can create happiness in our lives. Now, from a more long-term point of view of happiness, it comes from purpose and meaning. It doesn't just come from pleasure and joy. And purpose and meaning come from a concept known as dharma in Sanskrit, which is where you find this beautiful intersection between your passion, your strengths, and your compassion. The ability to serve with what you're naturally skilled at. I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for asking it and wishing you all the best.
I'm Jonathan Dugan from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am a lifestyle and mindset coach for Heroes Academy, along with a podcast interviewer on YouTube. Now, my question is for Alex Banayan. Now, I heard you talk about one time that 99% of people in this world view their mistakes as enemies, and 1% views their mistakes as friends. My question is that there's a lot of individuals right now that feel defeated, on the verge of giving up. They might be fearful of an uncertain future, or they might be dwelling on the mistakes or failures that they have experienced in the past months or year. How do we begin to transition, to transform our relationship with fear and failure into a healthy relationship as if it were our friends, best friends, an opportunity to grow, to learn, to see a brighter future? How do we begin to transform failure and fear into friendship? I know you're going to give an amazing answer. Thank you so much for your time, Alex.
What's up, Impact Theory? I'm Alex Banayan, the author of The Third Door here in my home in Los Angeles, and Jonathan from Las Vegas. I love your question about how to turn fear and failure into things you can cherish and grow from. Now, this is my thing about fear. Anyone who's dealing with fear, whether it's rejections, whether it's insecurities, whether it's getting your dream off the ground, or whether it's taking it the final, 10 yards, to end zone, fear has this way of being this constant throughout the journey, and failures many times add on to that fear, and failures we project in our head intensify those fears. So this is a insight and exercise I'll use for anybody who's trying to not only overcome their fears, but wants to cherish them in a way where they're no longer an enemy, but they become a friend. And the exercise is called dating your fears. And it's sort of the opposite of what a lot of other people think about when it comes to fears. A lot of people talk about pushing through your fears, conquering your fears. I advise you to do the opposite. Take your fears on a romantic date once a week. And I mean this quite literally. Look at your calendar and carve out maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, once a week, either lunch or dinner, and it's got to be consistent. And once a week, let's say it's Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday night, what you're going to do is you're going to take the time to have a nice dinner. Right now, because of coronavirus. Maybe it's at home, maybe it's on a balcony, maybe it's at a park. And, make yourself a nice bowl of pasta, maybe pour yourself a glass of wine, really make it silly if you want, get some chocolate strawberries, make it very romantic. And the idea here is to take your fears on dates. And just like a date, the first day, might be pretty surface level as you're getting to know them. And what you're gonna do is while you're having dinner is you're gonna take your journal out and you're gonna ask your fears questions. Where are they from? Where do they come from? How have they, grown throughout their lives? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna do this 1 week with the first date, and then you're gonna do the next week a second date, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth. And what you start realizing is it's almost like The Bachelor, where you're gonna have like 13, 14, 15, maybe 20 different fears lined up in front of you. And as the dating process unravels, just like in real life, what you'll begin to realize is there are deeper causes, deeper origins. And as you become more intimate with your fears, as opposed to beating them up, as opposed to stuffing them in the closet, as you become more intimate with your fears, you begin to appreciate them, you begin to have compassion for yourself, and that then gives the window of opportunity for you to cherish them. So your fears don't necessarily disappear, but you become so intimate with them that they no longer have a hold on you. And that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. Jonathan, I'm wishing you the best of luck, man.
Hi, Vanessa. My name is Ono Northy, and I am an author. I put self-development into fiction, so it's like mindset with car chases. My question for you is, if there was a character who was loosely based off of you, what would be a quote or a piece of wisdom that you would want to make sure made it into the book? Thank you.
Hello, hello. This question is so fun. So I think what I would want people to know or take away is that there are multiple flavors of charisma. I think for a long time I thought there was only one way to be likable. There was only one way to be charismatic, and it was to be the bubbly extrovert. That if you were going to be likable, you had to be the life of the party, you have to be funny, you had to be impressive. And then I realized that their charisma comes in many flavors. You can have, yes, the life of the party, but you can also have the quiet, powerful introvert. You can have the compassionate, empathetic soul. You can have the creative, tinkerer, inventor. And that all of those different types are charismatic. And so the big thing that I am always encouraging people to do, that I try to live myself, is that you can be your best self and find your people. You can be your true self and still be liked. And so I came out as a recovering awkward person in 2016, and that was the biggest relief. Because before then, I think I had been trying to be this life of the party person. But actually, I'm quite introverted. I'm quite awkward. I struggle with social interactions. I struggle with social anxiety. And the moment that I owned that and I put it out there, people came out to me as well. And people were more caring and accepting, and I had more real conversations than I ever had before. And so I think I stopped worrying about trying to impress people, and I started trying to just be myself, and hopefully I found people that would like me for that. And so I think that's the big thing that I'd want people to know, is that you can still be likable, you can still be charismatic, even if you're awkward or introverted or have social anxiety, and that being yourself actually attracts the right kind of people.
Hi, Mr. McDonald. With millions of jobs lost during the pandemic, what would you advise in terms of a pivot or a repurposing of a career under these circumstances?
Hi, I'm Rushion McDonald. I'm the host of MoneyMakingConversation.com. With millions of jobs lost during the pandemic, hearing the right words at the right time can change a person's life. Let's talk about my life, because hopefully with the experiences I had, I remember when the pandemic hit, I didn't know what to do. I can always share this story with people. I remember the first time I went out and went shopping. I went to like a Home Depot, and I had my mask. Well, I didn't really have a mask because I just had a ski mask I just pulled up on my face, and then I had my Purell, what left of the Purell that I just happened to have, and I had my gloves. So I went in shopping, and when I came out, I didn't know, did I take the gloves off to put my grocery store, my stuff in the truck, or was it contaminated? And that's the life that we're dealing with, right? We're dealing with a lot of confusion, and that confusion only gets even worse because you don't know who to turn to. I didn't know who to turn to times in my life, and so this is the time you have to have people who can help you out. And you know, We're living in a pandemic. We are not allowed to be ourselves anymore. When you're not allowed to be yourself, I always tell people, lead with your gifts. And don't let your age, friends, family, or coworkers stop you from planning or living your dreams. I didn't. I remember when I was in the hospital. Doctor told me, if we don't do surgery on you immediately, you will die. I remember when I was announced to have cancer when I was in 2015. And then like a fool, I climbed up on the ladder right after surgery and fell. Then I broke my arm and broke my arm, my thumb. Because I believed that I was unbreakable. I believed that I wouldn't let anything stop me. I wasn't going to let cancer win. You can't let COVID win now. How do you beat COVID? First of all, you got to learn to pivot. What? Oh, you comfortable? You comfortable now? You don't know. You don't think you can do anything else? You talking to the wrong dude. I've unloaded trucks in my life. Worked at Burger King, drove a forklift. Worked at the post office. Worked offshore. Been a successful stand-up comedian, sitcom writer, business manager. Steve Harvey. Everything I'm telling you is the things I've done in my life. I'm an award-winning baker. These things were not planned. There was opportunities. Right now, there's an opportunity for you to be successful right now, but you can't hold yourself back because you're 40, 50, 60. You feel that you can't have a dream. You can't put a plan in place. You can't. I'm 60. You think I don't feel 60. I don't know what that means. All I know is it's an age I have to tell everybody, but it has nothing to do with my plans to be successful. I always tell people this. Think about when you were in your 20s. That's what you should be doing now. That's the work when you wanted to be, when you were fearless, your dreams, your goals, your passion, when you was in your 20s, everything you wanted to do. The money that I'm making money off of right now is what I wanted to do or what I planned to do or what I was doing in my 20s, especially my early 20s, before marriage came in, before children came in, before a house came in, before you got locked into that job right now that you maybe still be doing that you don't want to do no more. Before you're in that relationship that you don't want to be in no more, but you don't know how to get out of. You don't know how to change a job. Well, how do you change a job? You look for a job, another job while you're still working. Don't ever quit a job and then go look for a job. That's the biggest mistake you can do. The other thing you have to do in life is you have to understand that if you want to be an entrepreneur, the best opportunity to prepare for being an entrepreneur is your 40-hour-week job. That's right, your 40-hour-week job. When you excel at your 40-hour-week job, you can win at everything. But a lot of people don't know that. They think that's a hassle. I don't like this. Well, if you arrive to work on time, that's going to help you as an entrepreneur. If you excel and do more than you're supposed to do, that's going to help you as an entrepreneur. If you meet all the deadlines that they're asking you to do, that's going to help you as an entrepreneur. More importantly, if you understand short-term goals, that means short-term goals mean 30 days. Start with 30 days. We're in the pandemic now. Start in that 30-day cycle and start building your plan. Start building your budget. More importantly, the people around you have to believe in your plan. If you have anybody around you that does not believe in your dream, kick them to the curb. I'm telling you, it's a lot of people. My shoes got a lot of kick marks on because I had to do that. When I left IBM and told people I wanted to be a comedian, you think people didn't want to call me crazy? When I told people I wanted to manage Steve Harvey, you don't think people called me crazy? Sitcom writer. When I told people I was going to be a baker, people doubted me there. And then I started winning awards. You know, I bought a building. During the pandemic. A building. You know, you buy jewelry, you buy clothes, you know, you buy food, you buy a house. But buying a building, that means I had to put a plan in place. I'm not asking you to buy in a building. I'm just asking you for the first time in your life to put down that stop sign that you're holding up when you're looking for the government to send you another check and start planning your future because you have more controls than you know of. And you need to start using those controls right now to plan your life.
Hey there, my name is Drew. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm a voiceover actor, obviously, and a production assistant. My question is for Humble the Poet. And I was thinking, whether we like it or not, social media puts this pressure on us to kind of show our best lives and prove that everything is hunky-dory. And I know that you've said before you'd rather feel good than look good. And so I was just wondering what your perspective was on that aforementioned pressure, and what can people do to get beyond that feeling to present yourself and show your best self.
I think the first thing we have to do to, you know, when it comes to acknowledging this pressure that we all feel to like put our best selves forward in front of everybody, especially in social media, is to understand this pressure existed way before social media. We're a very social creature. We've existed for tens of thousands of years in like smaller communities, and understanding ourselves in relations to others has always been a survival tactic for us. You know, if you got ostracized out of your village or your tribe, you know, that could have meant death. And that's encoded in our DNA. That's who we are. And we can't simply say, don't care what other people think. We have to first acknowledge that we do care what other people think. But at the same time, what social media did is social media took that need and it exploded it on an exponential level. Now, you're not simply looking for acceptance from other people. You can count the acceptance. You can count the likes. You can read the comments. You know exactly what everybody's thinking about you. And that social pressure is real. It's completely real, and it's completely influencing a lot of our decisions. So social media ends up creating situations where problems that aren't our problems, we take ownership over because we feel the pressure to talk about something or acknowledge something. As well as we want to be rewarded and validated by other people. So we create this life for display purposes only. And again, creating a life for display purposes only existed before social media. We were posing for pictures before all of this happened as well. I think the best thing to do after you acknowledge it is kind of understand that the rewards aren't real. You know, if anything, it's just a momentary, you know, dopamine kick, or, you know, for a lot of my public figure friends, it's maintaining a level of relevance or maintaining a level of attention, but it's not sustainable. You can't keep doing it. And especially when you're doing it at the expense of your authentic happiness, that becomes a whole other issue. So when I said I'd rather be happy than look happy, it's because all the work we put into looking happy doesn't actually make us happy. Now, there's ways to be happy and force yourself and fake it, like forcing a smile. You know, studies show that even forcing a smile will make you feel better. You know, there's that body-mind connection, and, you know, and it goes both ways. So I think what we have to realize is the validation of other people, it's addictive like fast food. It's something that we've always wanted. But to address that pressure, we have to realize that it's not nutritious. It's like eating a bunch of junk food. And obviously it's validating, it tastes great, we want more and more and more of it, but we'll never feel satiated by doing it. Now, if we make decisions that allow us to actually feel happy, that make us fulfilled, that give us more peace than pleasure, now all of a sudden, you know, we're gonna have a lot more fulfillment. We're gonna have less of a need to chase validation from other people. Because you also have to realize, like, our self-esteem is what other people think about us. Our self-respect is what we think about us. And the more self-respect we have, the less self-esteem we're gonna chase. And I think that's a really important thing. It's really about recognizing that we all wanna be happy. It's okay that we care what other people think, but at the same time, we can find that validation and that value and that fulfillment within. And when we find it within, we'll spend less time chasing it without, and we'll waste less energy, spend less time, you know, and not put ourselves in situations where we're repeatedly trying to prop up a life that isn't even ours. You know, it's not accurate to us, nor is it stuff that we actually care about and value. And understanding that, you know, most of the people that are looking at our social media are just looking for a distraction as well. And you know, whether they like your picture or they don't like your picture isn't an indication of who you are and what your personal value is.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that amazing episode, and I want to thank all of the special guests that took the time to answer these questions, and thank you to everybody out there who submitted questions. It means the world to us. It is always amazing when people show vulnerability and put themselves out there to find out the things that they want to know. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, my friends, be legendary. Take care. As many of you know, I'm all about constant self-improvement, a growth mindset, and a relentless focus on progress and skill acquisition. That's why I'm super excited to tell you guys about Skillshare. Skillshare offers classes designed for real life and all the circumstances that come with it. These lessons can help you stay inspired, express yourself, and introduce you to a community of millions. Creative self-discovery and expression can settle your mind, and spontaneous acts of creativity can help break up the routine of a day indoors. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. So much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives. Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth with thousands of classes covering dozens of creative and entrepreneurial skills. For instance, they have an amazing class by Simon Sinek called Presentation Essentials, How to Share Ideas That Inspire Action. If there's anyone that should be teaching that class, it is Simon Sinek. This is a perfect example of the unique classes you can find on Skillshare. You can also find classes on illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, entrepreneurship, and so much more. And Skillshare is also incredibly affordable. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. And right now, the first 1,000 viewers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. Don't miss this one, guys. Sign up right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Impact Theory. You are here with me today. I'm going to be answering your questions, and we're going to be talking all about procrastination. Actually doing something with all of your potential, turning it into real skills, and then deploying that into the real world. That is my obsession, and that is what we're going to be focused on today.